So we're gonna get started with 30 minutes of yin. Just a quick explanation of what yin is. We're gonna hold some seated stretches, some poses for probably just about 2 minutes today. We're gonna go through for 30 minutes. It's really a practice where you can focus on your breath and really slow everything down. So if you can extend your breath or elongate your breath, bring some intention into your breath practice. So make it longer, make it more controlled and steady. Then the thoughts will start to follow. So the chatter in your mind, any anxieties, stresses, fears, doubts, anything that's not serving you in a positive way will start to slow down. You can start to notice what narrative is happening in your head. And if you need to change it, focus on positive thoughts, places, things, anything you're grateful for, so that you can start to feel more peaceful and more joyful. So with that, we're just going to take any comfortable seated position. And if you did grab any props, anytime we're in a seated position, if you feel that your hips or your hamstrings are tight, if you have a yoga block or a book, a rolled up blanket, a pillow, you can sit on that. Anytime you get your hips equal or higher than your knees, you're going to feel more comfortable and just get into the pose a lot easier and feel more of a gentle stretch. So the next 30 minutes, it's really all about your breath and slowing the thoughts and the chatter down. And then thirdly is the pose. So it's really just about melting into everything. And once you control the breath and you start to slow the thoughts down, the body, the physical body will follow. Okay, so with that, close your eyes, take a comfortable seated position, just start your inhales and exhales both through the nose. Let your breath be a little bit longer than a normal inhale and a normal exhale for you. And let the physical body come into stillness. So as you continue with your breath practice, the only movement in the body is caused by the breath practice. So the rib cage will expand with your inhales and descend with your exhales. And just a few more inhales and exhales here. Take one more big inhale through the nose. And exhale. Then we'll take the right hand, reach it down to the mat or the floor, wherever you're at outside your right hip. Reach the left arm up. Press into the right palm to root the left sitting bone down and reach the left arm over to the right. Start to bend the right elbow, maybe bringing the right forearm down to the floor. Just keep a gentle twist in the neck. So you can look down at the floor, you can look straight forward, you can look up, whatever feels good for your neck. One more inhale. Exhale, come back up to center. Left palm on the mat. Reach the right arm up. Press into the left palm as you reach the right arm over to the left. And as you press into the left hand, root the right sitting bone down. And same thing with your neck on this side. You can look down, you can look forward, you can look up, whatever feels good. Just focus on the inhales and the exhales. One more inhale. And exhale back to center. Take your left hand outside your right thigh. Right hand on the mat behind your spine. Press into the right palm to lengthen through the spine and twist over to your right. One more inhale. Exhale, unwind back to center, and then right to the other side. Right hand outside your left thigh, left hand behind the spine, press into the mat, and twist towards the left. One more inhale, and exhale back to center. We're gonna come onto our shins for a child's pose. So let the big toes touch behind you. Take your knees wide, sit back on your heels, and with your elbows bent, come down to your forearms. And from here, you can crisscross the forearms, let your forehead come down to the forearms. You can bring your forehead down to the mat. You can use your prop if you have a block or a blanket that you want to put your forehead on. Just get nice and comfortable. Let the hips get heavy so that they start to rest on the backs of your heels. And once you settle into a stillness and bring the intention to your breath practice. So it's slow, steady, controlled inhales and exhales through the nose. Maybe envision the breath entering and going to the tips of your toes, to the top of your head. Maybe breathe into the areas you're feeling sensation. Notice the thoughts and if they're slowing down, and where they go. If they go to one particular story, try to not put a beginning or an end to that story. Don't get stuck in the story. One more inhale. Exhale, just come up a little bit onto the palms. Walk the hands over to the right, so now either your right rib cage or your belly is over your right thigh, and then again lower back down. Reach the left arm a little bit over to the right, and then lower the forehead. You can crisscross the forearms. Put your forehead on your forearms. Again, you can use your prop or just let the forehead reach all the way down to the mat. One more inhale. Exhale again, just coming about halfway up. Walk the hands over towards the left. Maybe the left rib cage is over the left thigh, maybe the belly is over the left thigh, and then lower down. One more inhale. And exhale, walk the hands back to center. We're going to roll out onto our bellies. Bring your arms out to the T. Take your right leg over to the right so that your thigh and your hip is at 90 degrees. Bring your left temple, the left side of your face to the mat, and lower down. So you want the shoulders to roll forward. And just be here again, gentle on the neck. So maybe it's the temple that's resting on the mat, maybe it's your cheek, maybe it's your ear. Relax through the legs, the glutes, the quads, let everything go. And again, just focus on the inhales and the exhales. The breath is slow, steady, and controlled. One more inhale. Exhale, slide the right leg back down the mat next to your left leg. Slowly turn your neck and place the right side of your face on the mat. Keep your arms out to the T and take the left leg, reach it out to the left. Make sure the hip and your thigh are about 90 degrees, and then again settle in. Make it all about the breath and your mental space. Breath is slow and steady, controlled. Bring some intention to your breath. One more, inhale. Exhale, slowly slide the left leg down the mat next to the right. Walk the hands in underneath the shoulders. Lift up into tabletop. Walk the legs through and have a seat. Legs straight out in front. So again, if you're feeling tight today, if the hips feel tight, if the hamstrings feel tight, you can always boost yourself. And if you sit on anything to get your hips higher than your knees, it's just going to help you feel a little bit more comfortable and be able to find that relaxed position where you can just melt into the pose. So with an inhale, just lengthen through the spine. You want your shoulders over your hips, and you want a little forward tilt in the hips. So if you notice you're kind of sitting back and have a curved spine, you just want to get up nice and tall. And that's what props will help you do if you can't do that on your own. They're really helpful. So you might just stay here and drop the head and let the stretch start from the back of the neck, down the spine, and down the backs of the legs, or you can start to fold forward. So you're just folding forward to where it feels good, to where you can drop the head. Focus on the breath of steady, controlled inhales and exhales through the nose. You can find a short meditation, whether you're focusing on a mantra, if you're just noticing the thoughts that arise, being comfortable with the sensations that you're feeling. And then just do a body scan and see if the thighs are engaged, if the ankles are flexed. See if you can just let that all go. So that with the eyes closed and deep breath, you can almost feel like you're floating away and at the same time getting heavy and melting. One more inhale. And exhale, slowly come back into seated. We'll bring the soles of the feet together, bend the knees. We're going to keep the heels away from the groin, so you want this really big diamond shape with your legs. And again, you can grab your shins, your ankles, just get up nice and tall so that your shoulders are over your hips. Take a nice big inhale through the nose, and you can stay here and drop the head, or you can fold forward. Arms can be underneath the shins and ankles if you like it that way, or over the ankles. And it doesn't matter if you're sitting up tall or if you've got your face between your feet. It's all about the breath. Everybody's bodies are different. Everybody comes with different injuries and stresses that we hold on to. And a lot of times we hold on to our stresses right in our gut and our hips. So we tend to get tight there. So just let your body go where it goes in a gentle way. And then just allow yourself to physically melt into that pose, making the practice all about your breath and a meditation. One more inhale. And exhale, slowly come back up to seated. Again, we'll meet in tabletop. And from here, we're gonna set up our pigeon pose. So we're gonna take our right knee, slide it right outside your right wrist, and then reach the left leg back. So look down and notice or make sure that your right thigh is off at an angle. If you look down and you see your right thigh is underneath your belly, you want to take it out at an angle. So this is a hip opener. So you might start with the right heel directly underneath the groin, and then notice if you have more space, you can start to work the shin forward so that the shin is working towards being parallel to the top of your mat. Then lower down to the forearms, and again, just make yourself comfortable. You can use props. You can rest your forehead on your forearms. And then if you notice you're rolling to the outside of your right thigh, maybe use your blanket or a block, prop it up under there, and just let it rest on that. One more inhale. Exhale, walk the hands back underneath the shoulders. Slide the right leg back into your tabletop. And then once in tabletop, if you want to lift that right leg, reach it back. Get a nice stretch in that right hip. And then place the right knee back on the mat. Slide the left knee forward and to the outside of your left wrist. Reach the right leg back. So again, your left heel might be directly underneath the groin. Make sure that the left thigh is at an angle and not directly underneath your belly. You can start to lower down and then depending on your flexibility and how your hips feel today, you can start to walk the left shin forward towards parallel to the top of the mat. One more inhale. Exhale, slowly walk the hands back underneath your shoulders. You'll lift up, slide the left leg back into your tabletop, and then reach the left leg back. Put some movement back into that left hip. We'll find our way onto our backs. On your backs, bend your knees, soles of the feet on the mat. Arms out to the T. Take your legs over to the right and your chin over to the left. One more inhale. Exhale, legs back to center. Draw your thighs into your belly, wrap your arms around your shins. Roll a little left, roll a little right. And then the soles of the feet back to the mat, arms out to the T. Let your knees go over to the left and take your chin to the right. One more inhale. Exhale, back to center. Again, draw your thighs in towards your belly. Wrap your arms around your shins. Roll a little left, roll a little right. Then release the legs. Let the legs go out straight, setting up for your Shavasana. So close your eyes and let your breath come back to your normal breathing pattern. And to keep the class to 30 minutes, I'll be signing off in 1 minute, but you can take your time here. In fact, you should stay a couple more minutes, just relaxing in your Shavasana. Thank you for